Ladies and gentlemen, the Near Fall Network proudly brings to you the modern-day Micah Russia, the guru of grappling gab, the one, the only shooter!
Say hello to the bad guy, and welcome once again to another episode of Drive-By with Shooter. As always, thanks for stopping in and checking out what I do. Got a lot of topics to tackle this week, and once again, I didn't want to go on this drive-by all alone, all by myself. Got a lot of things I want to bounce off one of the Near Fall Network's favorite personalities, the one who has the most free time in his life to actually sit down and talk to me. I'm going to cancel the introductions because he yelled at me last week for doing it. Welcome to the show, King. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great, man. You don't have to do the introductions anymore. Everybody knows who I am.
It's fun, though, and I like to stumble through it and see how many I actually get off the top of my head, and I usually do a pretty decent job of that.
Yeah, you do. You do a pretty good job. It was dope. Like, last week, I actually got introduced to two people as the Near Fall Narcissist, and they were like, oh, okay, yeah. And I was like, oh, wow, that was the shit.
That's impressive, and that was, I'm assuming that was at our Near Fall MVP, Mr. Vest, his band's concert.
Yes, that's how his bass player and drummer or guitarist reacted. I was like, oh, sweet. Someone knows me.
That is always fantastic. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. So let's just roll in a topic, man. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm assuming you saw the rumor that WWE may possibly be putting an end to the single-branded pay-per-views. I know it was speculated a while ago that we're cutting down on pay-per-views in WWE, and now it was announced that Money in the Bank was going to be dual-branded. Now it's looking like it's extending into every single pay-per-view, possibly having one a month and all of them being dual-branded. And I got a lot of thoughts on this, but before we get into it, I wanted to see kind of how you thought this was going to roll out. Good idea, bad idea, what can we make of this? What's your thoughts on this idea of ending the brand split on just the pay-per-views?
Man, I'll be honest with you, I'm all for 3 hours less WWE programming a month.
It is a lot of programming.
Now, as for how it shakes out and works out, I don't know. A super show every month would be cool, but I also don't like then that, like, you know, Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy storylines already fighting for pay-per-view time. So things like that are going to naturally be left off, or because there seems to be that it's going to be dual-branded shows. They're not going to go to the every other month format again.
Right.
So, I don't like that there's going to be less storyline conclusions on pay-per-views. You're going to see a lot of storylines get closed out on Raw and SmackDown.
SmackDown, yeah,
but
100%.
It will be nice to have like pay-per-views where like every match is a big deal. So I'm told.
And here's the thing, you know, the fear, and you kind of touched on it, but in a different light, bringing up Matt and Bray. But like the honest fear is that like what happens to the mid card guys?
Exactly.
And we're not talking mid card champions because they'll be represented. We know that. But what happens to a Dolph Ziggler? What happens to a Apollo Crews, a Titus O'Neil, and Titus Worldwide? What happens to the Fashion Police? The guys like that who sometimes are even right now lucky to get on a kickoff show.
What happens to Finn Balor when he doesn't have anything going on, which he usually doesn't?
Well, yeah, that's a fair assessment now, but I actually think he's going to be moving into some important things.
I do too.
In the future.
He's like one of the bigger what ifs as far as
it's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Top level guy who never has anything going on, so he's never going to be on pay per view.
Right now, I'm not sure if you heard or saw this, but I did just recently read a rumor. This is a rumor, folks, that it's also being speculated that WWE wants to make pay-per-views longer. So with that in mind, and again, you kind of think like, man, that's still more content. But let's just be honest. If we're not doing 2 pay-per-views a month, which is what we've been doing, and it's a lot. I love wrestling, but dear God, I don't have time to consume all this stuff. So if we say make every hour or every standard show a 4-hour pay-per-view, and your big 4 are now 5 hours for the main card, that might actually free up a little bit of space and give them the chance to make them more entertaining and more interesting all in all each pay-per-view.
That's probably the best way to go. Every show, 4-hour show, except for the big ones. Because then you could get some of like the lesser stories on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, absolutely. And I almost think if that's the way they're going to go with a single branded pay-per-view every month, it has to, double branded pay-per-view every month, it has to almost be a longer show. Because here's the weird thing, the SmackDown pay-per-views, at least in my opinion, and you can agree, disagree, whatever, but I feel like they almost struggle to hit that 3-hour mark, where the Raw ones, you're wondering like, well, we should have got another cruiserweight, we should have got another woman's, you know what I mean? Like, the Raw pay-per-views do well in that 3-hour time where they almost need an extra 40 minutes, where the SmackDown ones are stretching their roster to make that 3-hour show a 3-hour show. So, with some smart moves, some smart draft moves, some things moving around, you almost have to do a 4-hour pay-per-view on these smaller monthly pay-per-view shows to make it work.
That's still 2 hours less content.
And yeah, that's exactly right. You're still cutting 2 hours out of the double single branded pay-per-views a month. Now, do you feel that this is bad for the... okay, let me go back. I'm going to back up. Honest opinion, because I will give you mine. I enjoy the fact that we have this brand split going on. Do you enjoy the brand split?
Yeah.
And do you think this is bad for the brand split?
I enjoy the brand split. I don't think this is bad for it. Not at all.
I agree.
I think this is probably good in all ways. You're going to get less content that you're going to have to keep up with, because it does get to be a pain sometimes.
It does. It's almost like work sometimes, even though you enjoy it.
Exactly. They're going to save money on the back end. Talent's going to be happier working one less day. It's going to be... I guess talent's not working one less day. It's incidental to them. They're still going to be working a pay-per-view month. But whatevs.
Right, and if you really want to get down to it, you know that most of these guys and girls are friends. They know each other, but the dual-branded or the split rosters, they don't get to see each other a lot. They don't get to interact with each other except for the big 4 pay-per-views. So now this actually gives them, an extra time each month that they know they're going to see each other, they're going to work together. I think as long we have to keep the championships separated in these dual shows, and I would assume that's what they're going to do. I'm going to assume it's not going to be a Raw guy versus SmackDown guy. It's still going to be SmackDown matches with SmackDown guys versus each other and Raw guys and girls versus each other, and that's it. It's just they're on the same show. Yeah,
as long as you keep the titles separate, you're good to go.
And the brand split stays in place. And personally, I know SmackDown's struggling as of late, and as our resident reviewer, except for the last couple weeks, you had that shitbag sit in for you.
I take offense to that. It's the Radiant here. God damn it, dude! How did you get out again? I'm very sneaky. I'm not a shitbag. I'm a bag of shit. Or I'm a bag of crap, or I'm a piece of garbage. Whatever I called it. Either way, whatever you're going to say I am, I called it. Well, do you want to buy T-shirts? I've got
no. In
7 for
Radiant,
9,
let me say
30 for $100 million.
Radiant.
What?
Let me say this.
What?
You got one part of that right.
Oh,
you are a sneaky bastard.
I get everything right. I called it. I'm a sneaky bastard. I called it.
When you call everything, you're never wrong. Get out.
Dude, get, no, the T-shirts, stop with the no one wants it, go, I'm sorry, man. He won't be
It's
back.
all right, man.
I hope he won't be back.
We gotta get you a new lock on that door. Good God.
I'm telling you, man.
God.
I'm telling you.
So anyway, back on topic. I think that the brand split has done wonders for certain guys and girls. I don't know that my favorite female, Alexa Bliss, would be where she is if she wasn't on SmackDown to start off. Like, I don't even think there's a question. If she had been put on Raw or on a combined roster that was Raw, SmackDown the same, there's no way. Which shows you how a limited roster can really make a superstar rise to the occasion to do what maybe not everyone thinks they can.
No, it's crazy because if the roster would have been combined, she'd have never made a dent or a peep. You'd have never heard from her.
Right.
But if they combined the roster tomorrow back together, she'd still be one of the top 3 females on the show. 5.
Yeah, 100%.
Top 5. Now that Ronda and Oscar are there, she's bumped the top 5.
Right, absolutely, and I couldn't agree more. So, say what you will, the brand split has helped a lot of people. AJ Styles, The Miz, and Alexa Bliss, probably the top 3 people to benefit from this. There's others, but we're not going to name them, because I got a lot of other stuff to talk about. And since you're with us, King, and you are our resident New Japan guy, I had to throw this out there. I heard last week, and I messaged you about it, and I don't know if it was a joke, but then when I actually looked into it, I see this rumor is apparently running rampant on the internet, on the internet wrestling community, with all the smarks and the marks and the smart marks and the Vince Russo ass lickers and everything that's out there. But I need your opinion, and I know what your opinion is going to be, and I do want to talk about it a little bit. But New Age Insiders on their podcast last week mentioned some kind of a passing mention too. It's not something they spent a lot of time on, but basically, and I get what they were saying, and I understand the internet rumors, I understand where the speculation is coming from. They find it odd that Ring of Honor at Supercard of Honor is presenting, that's where we're getting the Kenny Omega Cody Rhodes match. This thing that's been building for literally, if you watch Being the Elite, for months, multiple months. I can't even tell you when it started. But the speculation is how odd it is that this would happen so soon when Bucks and Cody have the All-In show scheduled for September. That would be a huge, huge draw for that. When they're actually doing it on the Saturday of WrestleMania weekend. So it's against NXT, for one. And they brought a great point up when they said what they said. They kind of related this to the idea that although Ring of Honor has a great fan base, it's not WWE fan base. And with that being said, you know, Vince McMahon will tell you what to talk about. And they speculated that's why AJ Styles won the U.S. title at a house show at Madison Square Garden, because Kenny Omega won the U.S. title for New Japan I think was it the week before or 2 nights before, but it was airing that night, whatever it was. So they related it to WrestleMania last year, where yes, the Hardys fought the Young Bucks in a ladder match at that show at Supercard of Honor, but nobody talked about it after the Hardys came back to WWE the next night at WrestleMania. That was forgotten. It didn't matter because WWE told you what Hardy Boys match to talk about. So I do find it odd that probably would you say that this might not be one of the biggest matches in Ring of Honor's history, at least with as big as Kenny Omega is at this point in time in his career?
Yeah, sure. I think it's certainly one of the biggest storylines they've ever done as far as like getting attention in like the wrestling world.
Which is great because the storyline is really being done by these two guys and the Bucks. I mean, it's been hammered out in their show that they do themselves, which I know the Young Bucks isn't everybody's cup of tea. I know not everybody likes New Japan. I don't watch it on even a regular basis. I keep up with stuff from Mike and what I find on the internet, but I watch Being the Elite, and they do a fantastic job with that show, getting the things across that they want to get across. They've built this match pretty much through that show. But do you find it weird? Do you think that it runs the risk of being buried and forgotten in a weekend that is I mean, WrestleMania is a spectacle. There's nothing like it. There's nothing bigger. There's nothing to compare it to. Even when you say Wrestle Kingdom, like, unless you're a hardcore fan, you're going to be like, well, that's not WrestleMania, right?
Well, yeah, of course.
So does it run the risk of being buried in that weekend and getting lost and forgotten when there's so much? I mean, think about it. We've got Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. We've got Lesnar Reigns, but probably bigger than that, especially for the fans that the Omega and Rose match would matter to, is right now we have Nakamura versus AJ Styles.
Okay. Here's some points I'm going to toss at you, and I'm not saying I agree with them or I disagree with them. These are just things I've thought of. One, when was the last time anything Kenny Omega did in ring was overshadowed by anything? Okay.
I can't point one out, but I do think that the U.S. title win by AJ Styles on that, I don't remember the timeline, but that was big. It was definitely, in my opinion, that was 100% a response to that.
Yeah.
Whether it overshadowed it or not, I don't know.
It might have been, but I don't think.
It definitely, you'd be lying to yourself if you said it didn't take momentum away from that.
Oh, it obviously
totally
took
did.
momentum away from it.
Yes.
But I don't think it was like, I don't know. Like, if you compare those two matches in 2 moments, like the New Japan match is the bigger match and the bigger moment, arguably. So that's just something I'm throwing out. I'm not, again, agreeing or disagreeing with you.
No, it's totally fair.
Second, this is the battle for leadership of the Bullet Club, which is disappointingly
Right.
one of the biggest things in wrestling right now. This thing
Right.
is huge. This has been a huge story for a long time. They're doing it in Ring of Honor instead of New Japan, which don't you think could go down to New Japan?
Well, that's where there's a lot of speculation. We'll get into that. Go ahead.
So,
I would agree. I would think it would be a New Japan thing.
I don't think that gets overshadowed either. I think there's a lot of factors that you have to look at. Again, I don't think this is the end game for this. I think this is the start point. The end game is you're probably going to look at Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega and the Bucks taking on some form of Cody, Hangman Page, the villain,
Marty.
and I don't know, some fourth person. So like that's where they're trying to go with the Cody Young Bucks show they're doing. So I feel like this is kind of just the start of this storyline. There's going to be a progression to it. I don't see it getting. I mean, yeah, it's going to get overshadowed a little bit, but why not blow the minds of some people that are there locally? Why not take some ticket sales away from NXT?
It's a fair point. But does it take ticket sales away from NXT? Do you think? I mean, I'm not saying that
the
it
people
can't.
that
I'm saying
watch
that
NXT
crowd
regularly and
Right,
go
right.
to an NXT show to see Adam Cole, baby, and Red Dragon. They're always going to be Red Dragon to me. And any of these guys, why not just go to the freaking Ring of Honor show and watch the Bullet Club battle it out? I don't know. I think like if you're looking to, I just feel like they're trying to make a dent locally. Like they're not going to get. If you're sitting at home on the couch, what's going to be easier for you to do? Log into the Ring of Honor website to watch their pay-per-view, or you just going to turn on WWE Network. At home, obviously you're watching NXT, but there, if they can make some noise locally, that'll be a pretty big deal.
Oh, it would be a huge deal. Now,
again, not saying they will. These are just things I've thought of to throw out as arguments. I honestly, personal opinion, it's probably a mistake to do this. But these, for the sake of radio.
Okay, well, fair enough. But the other, and this is really where the rumor mill starts and kicks in, and I already know your answer to this, but I want to play devil's advocate. The rumor, and I don't have a timeline on this rumor, but actually, New Age Insiders actually said the Raw after Mania is that this was pushed up because Omega signing with WWE. I know he already signed with New Japan, but the speculation is that they could buy that contract out, this, that, and the other. There's all kind of speculation. I mean, you could read sheets and pages and whatever about all of this, leaking it back to Jericho and everything else. And I just want your honest opinion, your take on this. I know that Omega was, I don't want to say burned by them, because he doesn't sound bitter. He doesn't sound like he feels like he knows that he needed to go improve. And he's done that, and there's no argument there, because he was once with WWE, and it didn't work out. I always think that it's hard to believe that anyone who is a pro wrestling fan, that is also a pro wrestler, doesn't want to at least attempt to be in the WWE and be a champion. So I don't buy he'll never go. Unless it's just solely a money thing, that he's just making too much and fears that he's going to risk, like the Bucks, same way. Do you honestly think that there is any chance that this was moved up because of the reason that the internet wrestling community is speculating kind of behind closed doors on?
No, I don't really. I don't see him being in WWE for at least 2 years. But here's the thing. The internet always, whenever someone's like, I'd love to see Kenny in WWE, and I was like, WWE wouldn't know how to use him. Okay, that was the argument. But isn't he kind of at a point now where he could kind of arguably say, if I sign with you, I'm a big deal. And they're like, oh, no, we get it now, man. We fucking get it. You're a big deal now, and we're going to treat you as such. All I have to say
to that, Mr. Forrest, is WWE wasn't going to know how to use AJ Styles either.
Yeah, but AJ Styles wasn't... This is like kind of a phenomenon, man, what's going on with the Bullet Club right now. And while AJ Styles,
it 100% is
putting on 5-star matches every night, same as Kenny Omega's doing it. Kenny Omega's doing it on a very, very, very visual level. Like, he is doing it very, very visually everywhere. Like, you can see his matches everywhere now.
Because it's caught on and it's getting hot.
Caught on
100%.
and it's getting hot. Yep. Yes. And his shit is everywhere. It's well known that his matches with Okada last year were 3 of the best matches of all time. It's one of those things. I'm with you. And while AJ Styles had that going, like, did you see any of those matches he had in New Japan?
Clips.
Clips? Did you see when they happened?
No.
No, you probably didn't watch them the day after they happened, or the week after, or a month after, right? No, years later. I know you watched the Kenny Omega matches at least within the next week or two.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, that's the difference.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. You're 100% right. And see, this is why I need your opinion on this stuff. But
do I think he did that? No, I don't think that happened at all. But I think conceivably, if they're willing to buy him out and throw him, if they're going to give Dolph Ziggler $1.5 million over the next 2 years, a year, $1.5 million a year.
Did that come out?
Wait,
is this breaking news?
Yeah, this was announced today by Sports Illustrated. He signed a 2-year deal at $1.5 million a year, making him the 3rd highest paid man on the roster and the highest paid full-time member of the roster.
Wow.
John Cena and Brock Lesnar are the only people that make more money than him now.
Wow.
Yeah, said that WWE valued his talent and his level to get stars over at the next level, and we're willing to do whatever to keep him around for the next 2 years. Because
know what? Good for him.
Good for him, man. Stay there and be a mid-carder for 2 years, make $3 million, and then go to New Japan and make $500K a year selling out stadiums with Kenny Omega.
Yeah, why the hell not? And who knows?
Go to Ring of Honor and make $200,000 a year plus, and be their champion for 6 fucking years.
And maybe in 2 years they increase his value and pay him even more to do the same thing. Who the hell knows? And that's going to be something we talk about. I need a break because my mind just got blown. You literally blew my mind on the radio waves, and I don't even know how you want to take that. You can take that however you want. But just a quick yes or no answer. I don't need a timeline. I don't need you to say it's going to happen this way, that way, or the other and make a radiant prediction. I just want your honest opinion. Will we ever see Kenny Omega in a WWE ring?
Yeah.
I agree. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to do a little hot take segment with you, Mike. I'm going to throw some things at you. You have no idea what we're going to talk about. I don't want to spend 10, 15 minutes on each one. I just want to get kind of a quick response. Here's what you think. And we're going to move on and do like a little bit of hot take, rapid fire. I used to do that back in the day. I don't do it anymore. But we'll see where it goes. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Welcome back. All right, we have a lot of news topics I want to get into, I want to touch on. Mike, I want to get your opinion on these. Right off the bat, Rich Swan released by the WWE. He was cleared of charges of domestic abuse against his wife, and they released him anyway. I wasn't surprised by this. I feel that there's a lot of reasons for this. People were pissed. People were mad, and I don't fault them for doing this at all. It's funny because I brought it up in old shows. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm a Ezekiel Elliott fan. And he faced a very similar thing in the NFL. He was cleared of charges. I defended the fact that he should not be suspended. It was something that happened before he was even part of the organization of the NFL. This was something that happened while Rich Swan was under contract. He was clear of all charges for insufficient evidence. Same thing with Ezekiel Elliott, and then more evidence actually surfaced that the girl admitted she was lying. She was trying to get people to tell stories with her, which is why I was so adamant that this was horseshit.
She's trying to get paid.
Yeah, exactly. But on the Rich Swan part, WWE, were they wrong for letting him go, or did you see this coming?
I don't know. I'm kind of undecided on this. Like, we don't really know the circumstances. Did they just release him? Did he ask for his release? It was an outright release, right?
It said mutual agreement.
It was a mutual agreement. Because who knows, man? He could have got there and been like, I can't believe you assholes didn't have my back during this.
And that would be a good way to get out the door.
Yeah.
My opinion is this. This is my honest opinion. Had the Enzo shit not happen, he'd be back. Swan would be back. They might have kept him off TV for a little while longer, but he would have been back. But with this Enzo shit going down and the black eye that idiot gave them, and I'm not accusing the guy. I don't know. I personally think that story is a wonky one. But the fact is, he knew it was coming and didn't let them know, and then it got released on the day of their biggest anniversary ever. For their most historic achievement in television history. And he was just like, yeah, I'm just not going to let you know. Surprise! So I think that left a bad taste in their mouth. They don't want the bad publicity, especially heading into WrestleMania season. And they did what they had to do, and I don't fault them for it.
Nah, you can't really. I mean, it's a bad look. Even like if you're innocent. Which he is. I don't know.
He
man.
is.
I'm torn. He's innocent, so like...
Yeah, it's a tough thing. And this is where we're getting that murky water of where, like... You know, and it's a whole different thing.
Like, if he got fired for being accused of something, like,
it's
I'm
shitty.
Really against that.
Right, 100%. So that's why it's an interesting thing. Like I said, I don't think I don't look at them as a bad guy for it. I can understand. It didn't say... Okay, let's compare these apples to oranges. The statement when Enzo was released was seriously, Enzo has been released from his WWE contract. That's end of story. This was Rich Swan and WWE has came to a mutual agreement upon his release, and we wish him well in his future endeavors, which means the door, in my opinion, the door's still open. Maybe we'll see it in a year or two.
Yeah, I could agree with that. That's pretty much what that... I mean, welcome back whenever.
Yep.
Just not now.
Just not now. Yeah. See? Great minds think alike. Okay, moving on. Now, I didn't hear this, and I kind of don't like to say things because I don't know what context it is. I didn't even read the article, but when I saw the headline, the clickbait headline on one of these sites, I literally laughed my ass off. Ryback says he will be inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame Class 2019.
I saw this too, and I was hoping we were going to talk about it. He really, that's next year. That's next year, dog. Oh, yeah. What are you going to do in the next year? You going to blow Vince McMahon in the next year? Is that what, like, oh my gosh.
He's gonna find this doctor that's accusing Roman of steroids, and he's gonna murder him, hide his body, and get away with it, and nothing will ever come out about it.
Oh, this is Rich. Rich Swan even.
Yeah. Can't handle that, can you?
Oh, man, that's so. I guess we know my thoughts on that, huh?
Yeah. Moving on. Speaking, real quick, only because I brought it up if I can get it through the laughter. I did just bring up the whole Roman Reigns steroid thing. I find it curious that this doctor said like 2 weeks ago he was going to give more information proving Roman Reigns was a dealer or a buyer, and there's nothing there. Where's that? Where's those text messages he was going to release?
Oh, I don't know.
Weird how that went away. Okay.
Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame.
Oh dear God! Is he that jealous of Goldberg? I mean, come on.
This dude is the shittiest thing ever. Like, oh my gosh, he's like, you know, when you gotta take a shit and you've only got like 2 minutes to do it. And you give it that wipe, but later you're like in the car going to work because you're running late, and you're like, that was a suspect wipe. Ryback is like to wrestling what that feeling you get when you know it was a suspect wipe. You're like, man, that's still a little shitty, isn't it? And that's
I might have to throw these underwear away when I get home. I don't think I got the job done properly.
Exactly. And Ryback's the underwear that you just throw away. Like, fuck it.
Jesus God. Ryback's the underwear you just throw away. We have to move on after that. Okay. We know this whole Corey Graves, Booker T thing was a work. We even speculated it amongst ourselves. Yes. Okay. How great is it that none other than Vince Russo, will not believe that it's a work and is adamant that it's not, that now they're just trying to cover up the heat, the nuclear heat, the X-Pac heat that these two have between each other. It's a work, dude. How idiotic does this make people like him? He's not the only one, but he's literally gone on Twitter saying, I refuse to believe, bro, that this is a work, bro. They hate each other, bro. You can see it. But this is a guy that's calling questions and calling in like the booking of the shows and how he could do it better. But he won't even like listen to the interviews. I just listened to Booker T on the Sam Roberts podcast. Dude, there's no animosity there at all. It's clear. It's day.
Well, it's either a work or it's a shoot or it's some unforeseen third thing. That would be my prediction. Dude, those are 3 things. That's predictions.
Yeah. Multiple. More than one. Pick one.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, I just thought we'd get his prediction on things. Obviously.
Fair enough.
It's fucking work. Bro, I'm telling you, bro. I know Booker T, bro. I was the one that made him world champion for the first time, bro. I came in there, I took one look at him, I said, bro, that is a big, scary black man like you would see in Harlem. And they said, well, Vince, he was in the Harlem Heat. And I said, okay, I knew something about Harlem with him. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to scrap that. We're going to call him GI bro. It's going to be the biggest thing that ever happened in his career, bro. It's not going to set him back 6 months, bro. It's certainly not. We're going to put him with some oddities. We're going to call him, like, Like, I don't know. We'll call him like we'll put him with Hugh Moss, and he'll call him like something like General Rection, bro. I'm telling you, I know Booker T, right? And when Booker T tells someone he's going to put the hands to him, Booker T puts the hands to him. Now, I've never met Corey Graves, but I do know Corey Graves, bro. I've never met Corey Graves, but I know Corey Graves, bro. And that Corey Graves is a punk. Only people with tattoos on the neck and haircuts like that are punks. Not all punks have haircuts like that, but everyone with a haircut like that's a punk, bro. Let me tell you. So I know when Booker T says he's going to get his hands on a punk, he's going to get his hands on a punk. I don't care if they sat down, had coffee, or tea together. Tea and crumpets. I don't care if it was a lovely little party, bro.
He's gonna get these hands. Is that what you're saying?
Booker T is going to get those hands. Not Booker T, Corey Graves, bro. Yeah, so Vince knows everything, so
he does. Speaking
our weekly
of
Vince Russo segment.
Now we're gonna keep that one short.
I hope we eventually get so big that he does a show called Castrating the Marks, right?
Yeah, I know. I hope he talks about us.
I hope he talks about us.
Wouldn't that be great?
I want to be on there so bad one day. Oh my god!
Wouldn't it be great
amazing?
To hear all the Vince Russo marks talk about castrating the marks and have our name come up?
I would love it. I may just start listening to it just to see if we get on there.
Oh, it would be fantastic. Speaking of getting these hands, how awesome was this segment with Braun Strowman and Elias on Monday Night Raw? And do you approve of the way it's being used? I personally do. I think it walks a fine line, and I think currently they're doing it spectacularly with Braun Strowman, adding depth to his character. Because let's be honest, he can't be a big scary monster that just attempts to murder people every week. I mean, he can, but you can't destroy everything in your path that has a multiple $1,000 price tag. So, I like adding the comedy to the routine. The bass, breaking the cello or the stand-up bass, whatever you want to call it, spectacular. And if you've seen him on Mixed Max Challenge, his interactions with Bliss, this guy is a superstar.
Yeah, this dude's a real talent, isn't he?
Isn't it amazing? Like, what was it, 2.5 years? Maybe not even 2.5 years ago, when there was like all this rumor that it's going to be Braun Undertaker,
2 years
and everyone was like. Everyone, including myself, was like, oh dear God, that's the worst idea ever. And at the time, it really kind of was. But if you said...
We were at the low spot then.
We were. If you... Let's erase the Undertaker's last few matches and put it in this time period and said, yo, Braun Strowman's going to be the one to end the Undertaker streak. And it was the current Braun Strowman we have. We'd all be like, yeah, that probably makes the most sense.
I'd love to see him just straight steamroll the Undertaker.
I don't want to see the Undertaker versus John Cena, but that's a whole nother topic.
I don't want to see the Undertaker ever in a ring ever again. He's on my hot list of people that I never want to see ever wrestle ever again in a ring, or really ever see in a ring again.
Yeah,
looking at you, Dwayne Johnson.
Well, that's possible WrestleMania plans. Speaking of WrestleMania,
let me say about Braun Strowman real fast.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
When I turned on Raw and I saw him come out with that cello, my first initial reaction was oh no, they're jumping the shark. So initially I got very scared because there's a fine line between. It was a good segment. I was not worried by the end of it. By the end of that segment, I was like, okay, cool. But there's a fine line between that segment and sexual chocolate or sweet tea out there dancing with, what was the other one's name? It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter, but the Funkasaurus. Mm-hmm.
And every monster heel eventually has this sort of stupid comedy phase. Even Kane has had a few of them. That's a testament to Kane, though, more than anything.
But the difference here is after he had the comedy segment, he nearly murdered him.
That's true. If he could continue to be funny and then almost kill someone.
then you stay a monster, or you're just a more entertaining monster. And not that he's not entertaining, because believe me, Braun Strowman might be my favorite thing on WWE television right now. And that says a lot, because we have AJ Styles, we have a reunited club, we have the lovely Alexa Bliss, we have Asuka, we have Rousey coming, we have Charlotte, who is the best female athlete in the WWE right now and will be for the foreseeable future. But damn, Braun Strowman is awesome.
I knew that they had a hit with him. Do you remember that time that he was going to take Kalisto home with him? Where they were making him leave the building, and he was dragging Kalisto, and he picked him up by his leg and was like,
"You're coming with me.
I'll leave, but I'm taking this with me."
Yes.
And it was just like, holy shit, he's going to take a human being with him.
And he did. He did say this, didn't he? Which means he didn't even say, like, I'm taking... He's like, I'm taking this. This is mine.
And they finally talked him out of it, and he picked him up by one leg and dropped him in the dumpster.
God, I love Braun Strowman.
And I remember at that moment being like, oh, we got something here. Oh, wow.
This is what I want. For all of the people listening to this, which I know it's very few right now, but I'm going to pretend. For all the thousands of you listening to this show right now, someone is really good with technology. I want a mashup of all the insane, crazy Braun spots, one-liners, and awesomeness that has been since the creation of the Monster Among Men has really hit its stride. Set to some awesome music, because I will watch that repeatedly.
You want to know something super disturbing? If Braun Strowman wanted to make love to you, and I mean make love to you, like kiss you on the mouth, look you in the eyes and shit, you couldn't stop him.
No, you couldn't. Not at all. It would just happen, and
it would just happen. His beard.
You just have to get these hands. That's all it is.
Oh, like that. If that dude wanted to murder you, you could not stop him. Like if he was like, "Hey, yo, I'm gonna kill you with my bare hands now," you couldn't even run away from him.
You wouldn't have time because he'd catch you. He's fast.
That's insane. Isn't it crazy to know that there's a human being out there that could just like chase you down and kill you with their bare hands?
Right, and probably have a chance to catch almost anybody that's running from him. Wow.
Don't you want to see him and Brock Lesnar in an actual real fist fight?
Well, we almost did.
Lesnar would wreck his shit. Let's be honest.
And I would think because of the wrestling background, but I will say, I'm sure you saw if you didn't see it live, I saw it live, but if you saw the GIF or anything online, Braun took a shot, and it looked pretty much full force, and he stumbled, but he didn't go down. I'll give that dude credit, because there ain't no chance I'd want to take a punch from Brock Lesnar anywhere, let alone in the frickin' side of the head.
If they were going to remake the Sylvester Stallone, the seminal in 1980s Sylvester Stallone picture, Over the Top, he would be the perfect dude to have at the end of it. There's a guy I work with, and he works in a different department, but every time I go by him, he throws up his hands and yells Braun at me.
Sounds like a pretty damn cool coworker.
He used to yell, "It doesn't matter what your name is."
He's upgraded.
Yeah, well, it started because he was wearing a Fozzy shirt one day, and I was like, "Hey, I love Jericho." And he was like, told me this story. He went to a Fozzy concert, and he asked how much the meet and greet was, and the lady was like, "Well, we just got done with it, but I'll call back real fast and see if he's still cool with it, you know?" So she calls back. She's like, "All right, it'll be regular meet and greet price. He's sitting on the tour bus. Just go back." And it was just him and like a couple of the guys in the band and this dude and his friends. And he said he walked on the bus and went, "It doesn't matter what your name is." And he said Jericho was playing on his phone and looked up and was like, "You're not shy at all, are you?" And he said, "So what was it like when he said that to you? Were you caught off guard?" And he said Jericho looked at him and was like, "Well, no, I mean, I knew he was going to say it."
Oh, man. Who knew you were going to get a story like that on Drive By this week? That is flipping awesome.
Yeah. I've heard this story probably 24 times now, though, so...
Yeah, but that's okay. That's a story that deserves retelling. If I had achieved that goal,
I would.
I'd be telling it to everyone too 17 times.
I'm not even upset that I have to hear this again this week.
I'm gonna stay and listen a third, fourth, fifth time for the day.
How about that?
All right, bringing it up because you brought it up in a surprising way to me. Now knowing the money that Dolph Ziggler's getting paid, I had to add this because I heard this again, a passing rumor. I've only seen it in a couple places, so it doesn't have a lot of legs. But there's a small rumor that Dolph Ziggler's winning the WWE Championship at Fastlane. This will be a two-parter for you. Is there a possibility of this? And if so, are we really going to lose AJ Nakamura at WrestleMania for Ziggler Nakamura?
Whereas normally I would not be opposed to Dolph Ziggler winning the title at any point, I am very opposed to him winning it at this point.
I will absolutely 100% agree with everything you just said.
This would be a huge mistake, wouldn't it? Like, you're not gonna, and not only just from like ruining a dream match, and they've said it. They've said it on TV. By the way, they have full-blown called this a dream match on TV. It has come out of people's mouths. So, we know it's a dream match, right? We're going into WrestleMania. Are we really sending fucking... Instead, we're going to stop this dream match from happening. This acknowledged dream match from happening and put Dolph Ziggler in there instead? No disrespect to DZ. Phenomenal guy, would excel given the spot. But we're trying to sell some tickets, huh?
And some network subscriptions, let's be honest here.
Yeah, and we're really going to send in DZ? Like, we're calling it, we're fucking pulling a switcheroo in the 8th inning, and we're calling in the bullpen, and we're sending DZ out. They're playing Wild Thing and everything, and Ziggler walks out, you're like, what?
As long as they play that record scratch beforehand so we know it's him.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think with this one, is it a possibility? Yeah, sure, anything can happen in the WWE.
Sure.
That he wins, yeah, that's a possibility. Do I think that they're going to not give the fans the match that they've been teasing since Money in the Flippin' Bank in, June? There's no way in hell. There is not a chance in hell, to quote Vince McMahon's theme song, that we're not getting this match. I don't think I'm crazy for saying that. Like, could Ziggler win the title at Fastlane? Sure. AJ will get it back. Does that mean Ziggler invokes his rematch clause and it's a triple threat at Mania? Maybe. But again, you're still taking that one-on-one match away, and they would be flipping nuts to do that, especially when we know pretty much we're getting Reigns Lesnar, and not everyone's okay with that. I don't think you would literally try to disappoint fans, and I think it's funny we speculate, well, he signed this huge contract, so obviously he's going to be champ. No, maybe they really do value him for getting guys over, which is why he's getting put in this match.
It's just too much title fuckery before WrestleMania.
Right.
No one likes that. No one likes when there's some kind of
you need a strong champ heading in.
Everyone likes when your build-up is your champ from Royal Rumble, carries it to Mania, and the story builds then. No one likes that change of plans at the last minute shit. The only time anybody ever liked that was when Daniel Bryan got his way. And we were like, oh,
which was because the fans forced it.
Yes, that's the only time anyone ever liked that. Ever. We would have liked it other times. There's times that you don't do it, that we want it to happen and it doesn't. But the times that you do it, no one ever likes it. No one ever likes it.
Exactly. Yep.
Bray Wyatt winning the damn title. All that nonsense last year. It was just nonsense the year before that. No, it's cool, man. No one likes that. Let's just have a normal storyline. Let's just, damn it. The road to WrestleMania should not have this many forks in it.
It shouldn't. And they already took the roadblock out, so let's just go where we're going.
Well, you can't get through a fast lane with a roadblock in front of it.
That's very, very true, and apparently that's why they moved it. Okay, second to last question. Well, it is what it is. Second to last question. Again, something I just heard before recording this with you. A strong rumor that if Brock Lesnar does not return, and I've heard from multiple sources that he is going back to UFC, Which, hey, if he wants to, that's fine. I like Lesnar in either form that he wants to present it. I think he's fun in the ring when he's invested, and I think he's great to watch in the octagon when he can just go out there and pound people's faces in, assuming that he's able to do that. I give the guy credit because, a lot of people get flack of how he lost his last 2 matches. The guy was literally coming off a disease that almost killed him. I'm not going to fault the guy. It is what it is. I'm not going to fault the guy for taking steroids to get back into octagon shape that he failed the test for after he fought Mark Hunt after he had diverticulitis. It could have killed him. So,
cheater. He's a cheater and a pussy.
You tell him that, because I'm not.
I just told him that, didn't I? I just said it. Brock Lesnar, you cheat.
You just
pussy.
did. That being said,
I dare you to do something about it. I fucking dare you.
You'd be rich. That being said, lots of speculation that if Brock Lesnar does not sign with WWE, we need to now find something for Paul Heyman to do, and that just might be making Roman flippin' Reigns a Paul Heyman guy. And dear God, can I express how much I love this idea, and now when it doesn't happen, I'm going to be even more disappointed.
Remember when everyone thought that Paul Heyman was going to turn on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania?
Which time?
2 years ago, 3 years ago, when it was Roman.
Yeah.
See your Seth
yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How dope would it be just the night after WrestleMania for Paul Heyman?
See,
to
that's
come out?
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Paul Heyman, the new advocate for Roman Reigns. Oh, dude, it'd be sweet. It'd be sweet. Like, Roman would never have to get up there and be like, hickory dickory dock. Roman watches the clock. Ever again.
And that's what I want. I don't want the turn. If this is something that happens, I don't want it to happen at Mania. I want it to happen the night after, because we need something big. The Raw after Mania is always in theory, the biggest Raw of the year. And dear God, could you imagine if Roman wins that damn Universal Championship, Paul Heyman comes out on Raw, you think he's going to say something about Brock Lesnar, and he introduces his new client, Roman flippin' Reigns.
Has given me the authority to let you fans know that you have ruined every big moment of his career, and he no longer cares what you think. Oh, that'd be sweet.
I mean, and fantasy book this for a minute, just like you're saying. And Heyman could do it. Write a promo that he goes out there talking about his client, and everybody thinks what he's relating to is Brock Lesnar. And then he says, as a matter of fact, let's bring my client out right now. And he just says, Roman Reigns! How badass of a moment would that be? I almost get chills just talking about it.
Ah, dude. You'd flip as a fan, wouldn't you? You'd just be like, oh my God, it's happening!
I don't even know.
They love us.
I don't. Yes, it would be like, you love us.
It'd be one of those moments. You know how you
really love us. Clap, clap, clap.
Have a moment in wrestling where they're like, you're like, they fucking love us. They listened. Those moments are amazing. They're few and far between, and that would be a good one.
Few and far between, but yes, they are amazing. I want to wrap the show up, Mike. Before we go, you're way too early, but probably solid predictions for the main 4 titles at WrestleMania. Who will be challenging? Because, as we know, there can be forks in the roads. So, your WWE Championship match, your WWE Universal Championship match, and your Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship matches. Go.
AJ versus Shinsuke. You gotta give Shinsuke the win. He's done. He's dead in the water if you don't give him this win. Roman versus Brock. Roman wins. We're talking the women's too.
Yeah, both women.
Jeez, Rousey signing on Raw.
She's not getting a championship match out the gate.
Asuka beats Bliss. And then Charlotte Probably Naomi. She probably loses. Or a heel Becky Lynch.
Okay, I'll give you mine. Your
Carmella
the
cashes
men's.
in.
Wow, that's a weird one too. Your men's, I agree with, spot on 100%. Although I don't necessarily think Nakamura losing would be a bad thing. If it's a competitive match and then he can win it at the next pay-per-view, I'm okay with it. But I think that Mania moment would be huge for him. On the women's side, I don't think we're getting Asuka Bliss. I think we're getting Asuka Charlotte. She hasn't declared yet. I think we're going to find out at Elimination Chamber, or let me rephrase that. I think we're going to find out on the SmackDown after Elimination Chamber that Asuka's going after Charlotte by attacking Charlotte on SmackDown. What I think we're setting up with now is Bliss Nia for Raw. Because all it takes is Asuka winning, which she will, in the Nia match at Elimination Chamber to keep her out of that main event. But some kind of collusion with Bliss, with Nia, something's going to happen to where Nia gets pissed, and because there's that friction there, she's somehow going to get in that title picture. I just don't... I think we drop the ball if we don't get Asuka Charlotte, don't you?
No, I don't think we do. I think... You know how I feel, man. I think this is a year-long build. Of course, again...
I see what you're saying, but
Rousey changes that up. Maybe we do have to pull the trigger now.
Here's the thing, like... The money match, right? Without Rousey, the money match is Asuka Charlotte. You're 100% right. But with Rousey, the next money match is Rousey Asuka. And the bigger one, I think. Or Rousey Charlotte. We can't do Rousey Charlotte already. It's just not going to happen. It would be stupid for it to happen. And it would piss people off. So let's build to that one. And it's okay if Asuka beats Charlotte, because Asuka beats everybody. So now we built to Ronda and Charlotte on Raw after the shakeup. And then we get Asuka and Rousey to the same level, and then that's the WrestleMania match next year.
You know, if they can maintain all three of these women at the same level.
How unbelievable that's going to be.
To have three women at this level. And I mean, this might just be like my Charlotte mark coming out. But I feel like they're ultimately going to come like back around, and she's going to lose. Like, right, she's going to lose to Asuka, right? And
right.
She's probably going to lose to Ronda, but at the end of the day, I think she's going to pick up return wins simply because she is the WWE creation.
After Ronda beats Asuka to break the record, because I'm predicting that now, that's who's breaking the record.
That is.
Then Charlotte's going to subsequently beat Ronda and then beat Asuka.
Yes. She's probably exactly like that, 100%.
It's on tape, so we have me saying this. It's what's going to happen. I'm not going to make multiple predictions. I'm sticking with that one.
Oh, shit, Walker.
But that being said, Triple H himself said Ronda Rousey is going to change the landscape, and if she picks up wrestling like some other athletes such as Kurt Angle have, I have no doubt she will change this landscape. And I'm excited to see it. I'm not a hater. I was a Rousey fan in MMA. I'm willing to be a Rousey fan in wrestling as long as everything's done. As long as she puts the effort in, and I don't think she's the kind of person who's not going to put effort in.
Even if I wasn't a fan, I'd still think this was exciting. Not that I am.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I guess, yeah, I would say I'm a fan. But like, even if I wasn't, I'd still be like, oh shit, yeah, man. I wouldn't like talk shit, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Be like, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of an MMA fighter I hate. I can't think of one. But like if like George St. Pierre was showing up, if you hated GSP, you wouldn't be like, this is bullshit, man. He fucking sucks anyway. So what? He was like a champion for like a decade. Like, get out of here, man. Like, he's not even that good. He's arguably one of the greatest of all time, but he's not even that good. Get out of here.
Right, exactly. You'd be like, nope, let's see where this goes, and let's ride this wave.
The chick that basically like made women's MMA popular. Yeah, no, we don't want her. She's no good. She sucks. Oh, yeah. Don't you dare say Gina Carano. I remember when she got knocked out in MXC or whatever the bullshit league was.
Oh, dude, you'd have loved the conversation I had with some people about 3 or 4 weeks ago. That's a whole nother topic.
Did you see that show? Hold on, did you see that show? That night she got knocked out, they had built their whole promotion around her and Kimbo Slice. And they both got knocked out by nobodies in the same night, and the promotion was never on again.
I did not. I mean, I knew about the Gina Carano knockout, but I didn't really realize the whole promotion. And that's great. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I don't love it. I actually liked Kimbo Slice when he passed away. Correct?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I liked him. I watched him on The Ultimate Fighter. I thought he was quite a character and would have fit in well into wrestling.
I liked watching his YouTube videos where he beat homeless people up in backyards for like $50.
Hey, why not, right?
Yeah. When he passed away, someone called him a legend. They're like, man, legends never die. And I was like, what? Is he a legend, really?
Yeah, I don't think I'd go that far.
Okay, alright. Cool. We're agreed then. Right on. Oh, by the way, if you're still listening to this, at the end of Black Panther in the post-credits scene, Thanos shows up and takes the Winter Soldier's robotic arm.
Thanks, you dick.
You're welcome. I love you.
Guys, this has been an awesome conversation, Mike. Anything else you want to add to it before I sign off and we get the hell out of here?
Iron Man's also in the movie.
Now I'm just going to hang up on you, you dick.
They show another Captain America shield getting made out of vibranium.
Alright, we are done, guys. As I say every week, it's been real, it's been fun. We'll catch you next time.
The Black Panther's mother dies. You find out how toilet paper works in Wakanda. It's also made out of vibranium. Turns out Wakanda has a sister nation directly located on the opposite side of the planet called Wakanda.
Alright, we'll get started here. And go ahead and we'll do the same countdown. Just follow my numbers immediately after me. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
Dear Fall Nation, say hello to the Ball Guy. Welcome once again to Drive By with Shooter. As always, thanks for stopping in and checking out what I do for the Near Fall Network. Got a packed show for you guys today, and I simply couldn't do it by myself. So I have to give a nice warm welcome to the King of Smart Style, the sensual Swami of the Square Circle, the near-fall narcissist himself, none other than the King of Nerds. How's it going, Mike?
Going pretty good today, Mike. Peasants. How's everyone doing today? Yeah? Okay.
I can't hear you, Mike, at all.
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
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 Okay. Turns out I accidentally hit the mute button with my cheek.
Are you still recording? Please tell me you're still recording.
Oh, I'm still recording.
Just let
Definitely
it roll,
still
because I
recording.
can make fucking bloopers out of that shit. I guarantee you were cussing or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna do that intro over again. I love it. Everything is a fucking disaster, and I love it. Okay. Okay, let's try this again. Do the numbers.
Okay.
We'll do the numbers again.
Alright.
Change this up a little bit. 3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1. Really plugging my shit real hard here, aren't I? Really trying real hard to make people interested in what I have going on. It's BANANAS, man.
MRFREST. That's where you can find me on the Twitter machine. That's all. I ran out of good shit. Alright, guys. It was good being here. Toodaloo.